hurl tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a wheelchair researcher and designer. He's a PhD besides.
Great. We will talk about that on the air here soon. 3, 2, 1. And we're back at the Super G here, sponsored by UPS. Up next now is Rory Cooper. Rory's been here 10 times. He's a Class 2 Masters. And, you know, he just doesn't do wheelchair games. You know, he's a pretty educated guy, too, right?
Yeah, he's a little bit of everything. He's also a heck of a swimmer, you know. He swims, he's been a Paralympic racer, but he's actually a PhD, and he's the head of research at University of Pittsburgh, what they call HURL, the Human Engineering Resource Lab. And they're actually running around here today. They're all week. They have different research studies they do on athletes, you know. And, you know, both him and his wife are PhDs over at the University of Pittsburgh and very involved with research. He's designed different things like monitors you put on your wheels that monitor how much mileage you're doing, what kind of stuff you're doing. They track that. They do studies on, you know, transferring and, you know, always looking at ways that they can improve the equipment and stuff. So he's very good in his chair for, you know, someone that's probably one of the most disabled of the competitors here. Plus, you know, over half a century old, and he's still, you know, competing with these young bucks and getting her done.
And he is getting
it done.
There
he goes on the slip and slide, you know.
He's making it look pretty easy so far for as he said, being 100 years old. I'm sure he's not that old, but he's getting through. So he's been a, you know, kind of a, for lack of a better term, a pioneer in like in the wheelchair sports. He's been helping, you know, get the game progressing a little bit.
Yeah. Well, with his science and engineering background, you know, he sees a flaw in something, he kind of engineers a way to make it better. And, you know, a lot of technology, I'm sure he deals with chair manufacturers. And, you know, one of the things they took out of the slalom event, so many people have problems with rotator cuff and shoulders. They used to have these buckets of rope or chain you had to pick up and maneuver from one bucket to the other. But you know, when you're already beating your arms to death in this thing, and you got bad shoulders, and your everyday life is a big enough burden on your shoulders. So a couple people got hurt. They've decided you've never seen not that in the last 2 years. No buckets and chains or ropes to be moved. Because like you said, we're concerned about safety and don't want to send people home hurt. So they took that event right out.
Right, you do, you know, you want to come here and get a nice athletic burn, you know, you want to push yourself to the limit, but you also don't want to, you know, go home with any more injuries, as you were saying.
Especially when you walk on your arms, if you tear up your shoulder, you're not going anywhere for a while, unfortunately. And, you know, these guys that are here at this level, we're competitive, we're go-getters, we don't want to stay home. Don't hurt me and get me stuck home, because that's, you know, there's nothing more frustrating.
Yeah, these are, you know, wheelchair games happen once a year, and you don't want to hurt yourself at the wheelchair games because, you know, you might not be able to come back for in a couple years after that, after, you know, rehabbing from your injuries you got here.
Yeah, see, he's struggling here. That's where you see a little bit of difference in the classes. He don't quite have the function and the strength and the musculature of some of the higher classes. So this obstacle is giving him a you know, a workout. And, you know, he's on the skinny tires where he powered through it, though. Pretty good for an old man.
And as you were mentioning, you know, earlier in the telecast, when, you know, the fans here are going to give you a lot of support and a lot of encouragement, but especially for the ones who are struggling, because, you know, they're going to need it, and the fans realize, you know.
And they get even louder, I tell you. They get the same thing in the swimming pool event, if you ever been to the swimming. The guys that are struggling in the water the most are the guys that get the fans going wild and crazy. The loudest ovations. Like you said, the fans just pull you through. You hear all that, you just suck it up, power down, and drive.
And Rory is sucking it up, powering it out, and driving right now, making his way through.
Yeah, he's about the halfway mark. Now he's got another one of those tough runged obstacles. Let's see if he gets he's getting a good run at this one, so.
How does it feel, you know, you're at this point in the Super G, you've gone through all these obstacles already, and then you realize you're only halfway done.
You're already dying of thirst, your arms are burning, and you know, they set up tough obstacles at the beginning to start you tired out, get you through a couple of maneuvering, you know, technique obstacles, then they hit you with a couple of other arm killers, a few more maneuvering, but your arms are rubber, And then you get these 2 in a row that are killer. Now he's got, again, the sand pit and gravel, the stuff that'll eat. See how his tires are right down, especially when he hits the sand. It's right in over the spokes and stuff. The tire's totally buried. But now he's got to power out of there. Yeah, Rory. There he got it.
And as you can hear through the background, the fans going wild. There's a, as we were talking earlier, yeah, it was an early morning event, but people, they'd wake up, drink their coffee and get out here just for the event because it's such a unique event. And if you get up a close shot, with the athlete, you could see just in their eyes how determined they are to, finish this. And it's not just about time; it's about a challenge to themselves. They're challenging themselves to get through it.
And if you make this event, you already medaled and showed that you're one of the best in your class. This event, if you just survive it, you're more than satisfied. I can't even imagine being able to maneuver such a course. So just getting through it, I'm sure, is a great self-satisfaction. I mean, a medal, that'd be like the Stanley Cup.
That's the, this is kind of like the equivalent to like a triathlon or a biathlon because, you're testing all sorts of parts of your body from your strength to your speed to your stamina to your determination to, everything is being tested.
And your mind, man, you gotta not forget to do everything, You're out there struggling and burning, but you gotta remember what they told you had to do and not miss one little 360 or a little saluta.
Yeah, and one thing about the spotters, and if you do, mess up, go the wrong way, they're not gonna tell you.
No. They might say something like, read the course, read the course. That ought to get you thinking, all right, look around. What did I just do? What was I supposed to do?
If you hear check your course or read the course or rethink or something like that, then you got to be like, oh man, I messed up. Where did I mess up? That's when the intellectual part comes in.
Exactly. And the rules are, if you figure out that where you messed up, you could be at the end of the course, and if you realize you messed up and your wheel went off this rumble strip, and you should have come back and gone over it again, and you didn't. You got all the way to there, and they said, oh, that's where I messed up. You come by over here and do this rumble strip. That's not all you do. You start at that rumble strip, you got to go from there all the way to the end again.
So as you mentioned, you test, every, the body, the mind, and especially the mind here, because, as you're raising up the flag, you mentioned if you forget to salute, also, you messed up and you got to go back, and that's a penalty, and test your. It's going to be thank for your time. And coming over the finish line, finishing the Super G here, sponsored by UPS, is Rory Cooper.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be competing for a medal this year, but still, as a Class 2, just getting through this is amazing.